There's a hard truth about life that people want you to do well, but not better than them. Some of the books, the series, the shows that we watch are about these protagonists that just keep on breaking past and open up brand new worlds and make their lives so much more interesting and make our lives interesting by virtue of us watching these things. Why is it that so many human beings, including ourselves, get into situations where we get comfortable? It's said that comfort goes into your home and robs your soul. Now, here's the thing. If we allow ourselves to get comfortable in life, we are never, ever, ever going to have the opportunities that we wish we had because we are not evolving. We are not spending the time and energy to actually make our lives more interesting. Each of us is an ocean. That's a philosophy that I have. We are, in fact, perhaps, on Alan Watts' words, an entire universe. Now, if we believe that we have explained to ourselves or understood even a fraction of that universe, we're probably holding ourselves back from even greater realities, even greater understanding of the little interactions that we have and the larger macroscopic picture of how humanity and the world functions. To me, it's particularly interesting to have that philosophy. I want to see the same thing with a completely different set of eyes in 6 months. And that keeps me motivated. But the other thing is, in a very realistic sense, in a really mature sense, as we grow older and we get into our 50s and our 60s, our bodies break down. We can't do all the stuff that we used to do before. And what's left is really our brain and our level of motivation for seeing the world differently, right? A lot of people get comfortable and they stop. And what that leads to is resentment for self. I believe that every organism is like a tree. If given enough nutrients and enough space, that it will grow to the largest extent that it can. Does that have to do with genetics? Probably. Does that have to do with your environment? Definitely. Does that have to do with you trying to be better and having an expansive approach in life? Definitely. My friend, set goals for yourself that are so large that you laugh about the possibility of even getting there. Because that type of mentality will open your world up to all of the other individuals that have experienced life in that way, that are looking to experience life that way. You'll have more happiness, you'll have more money, you'll have more opportunities, you'll have a deeper spiritual understanding of yourself in the process of allowing yourself to dream that largely about life. And the reality is, how hard is it really? It can be really, really difficult. There's an experiment of fleas that are held under a certain height. These fleas are raised and born in this cup. A flea can jump about this high, but this cup is only this low. As those fleas multiply and as their progeny come by, and you take that cup off those fleas that have been there for a generation, they only jump this high, even though their potential, their capacity is actually to jump this high. Humans are no different. When we're in an environment that says to us that this is ridiculous, this is impossible, that set your expectations low, be safe, don't take risks, there's a very good chance that we will pass that along to other people if we have had a modicum of success and comfort in our lives. We don't want our kids to suffer, but we don't want them to be better than us most of the time. Our friends especially. There's a hard truth about life that people want you to do well, but not better than them. Really successful, wealthy people don't care. They laugh at other people that want to be like them because they know the sacrifices that they had to create in their life. They know the sacrifices that they had to make in order to become who they are right now. And they know that very few people can, in fact, do that. So, set your vision high. Remember that perhaps your environment is keeping your potential here when your potential is actually up here, or maybe much, much higher. Think about the great people in your family. Think about the great people around you and realize that you are more than capable of doing what they're doing, let alone a tremendous amount more. When I opened my philosophy up to me actually wanting to change humanity, I'm talking about 8 billion people plus all of their offspring for 1,000 years. Now that's a different type of beast to tackle when it comes to setting goals. But what I realized is that when I go and talk to politicians, when I go and talk to CEOs, when I go and talk to these tremendous people that are making a tremendous difference in society, The vast majority of their teams do not necessarily have people that are more intelligent than I am, that are more capable than my team members are, that are more spiritually aware than the people that I respect, that I have around me regularly. They are just normal people that set high expectations for themselves. If you set a higher expectation for yourself, you will match their standards, if not far exceed them. And the beauty of having that in life is having a tremendous amount of self-respect. Success only really matters based on what your definition of average is. If your definition of average means that successful is a regular 9 to 5 job and being able to go out on the weekend and go to the movies or go on dates with your significant others or buying these little knickknacks and toys that you want in your life, that's your definition of average, that's where you're gonna stay. If your definition of average is instead having a plane or having a yacht or having a practice or a business that grosses 10 million plus dollars, you're gonna be in very different rooms. And the reality is those two people or those two definitions of average can see things that are below them. And they can also understand things that are above them. Things that are below those definition of averages tend to be not as sophisticated, not as graceful, not as efficient with time, not as spiritually aware. Things that are greater than those level of averages tend to be things that make us think, that make us reflect, that make us resent who we are as human beings most of the time. And ideally, if done properly, make us excited and inspired to raise our definition. So when it comes down to going into a room of successful people, just realize that your level of wanting to understand where they're coming from and asking questions that actually give them a blast in being in their position and offering them value that you have to offer them right then and there and not demanding their time, successful people will see that and know that you are trying to raise your definition of average, and you will get the respect that you are due because you have a larger vision of life. Now, don't always assume that you'll see a book by its cover. You'll not understand the depth of a human being based on what they're wearing. There's plenty of billionaires that wear around shorts and look absolutely ridiculous on the weekend because they don't have to work anymore, right? And there's plenty of those same people that are genuinely very poor and terrible human beings. It's not about the cover. It's about the grace of which they carry out a conversation and the achievements that they've had in their life. That, to me, should indicate where their level of average is. To avoid getting comfortable in your position, go to masterminds, right? Go to conferences. Go and interact with people that are way, way, way above your level, because they will show you clearly a mirror to yourself. They'll show you clearly where you're at right now and where you could be, right? The best way to get comfortable is to make friends with people that have achieved less than you. That's it. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care.